Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on the Flash Season 7. And wow, guys, what an episode. This will be my review and breakdown for the Flash Season 7 Episode 18, titled Heart of the Matter Part 2, aka the Flash Season 7 finale. I cannot believe we have reached this far so quickly. Although most of the season has been very troubling to get through, this Godspeed storyline has been some sort of a redemption to an extent, despite me still having issues with it. This Godspeed storyline is just miles better than what we had for the Forces storyline, as well as the interlude. Now, for those who didn't know, I did do a live watch party for the episode, just to give you guys my reactions to the episode, and we had like 170 people at one point during the live chat, which was just mental. I wasn't expecting that many people to join, and yeah, all of us were going crazy as we were watching around. It was just so fun to make, and hopefully I could do more in the near future. So thank you guys so much for those who have joined me in the live stream. It was really fun doing it. But giving you guys my quick initial thoughts on the episode before I go more in detail with a review and breakdown during my second watch of the episode, because for the first watch, might I say, during the watch party, I just wanted to enjoy it with you guys. I wanted to give you guys my reaction to specific scenes, and yeah, for those who were there, you guys would know I went crazy during some specific scenes, which I will mention during this video. But for the second watch, I wanted to enjoy it once again, but also I wanted to be sure of the things which I really liked and disliked about the episode. And during my second watch, I actually found the episode a lot better than the first watch. So yeah, that says something. It just shows that I really enjoyed this episode. This was hands down the best episode of the season in my opinion, and probably one of my favorite episodes of the whole show. This is a very controversial episode in social media as well. A lot of people love it, but a lot of people dislike it as well. As I said, I watched this episode twice, and both times I loved it. It was so crash. Every character had their own moments to shine. The whole episode was just 100% story driven, no side stories. The music was absolutely spot on, especially when that specific character arrived and they used that person's theme. Oh my god, chills. We had some insane twists and reveals which I wasn't expecting, and also you guys have seen the surprise character I have been talking about for so long, and yeah, Reverse Flash is back and his return was mad. I absolutely loved it. During his return, when they played the Man in Yellow music, oh my god, I was just living life over there. It was so enjoyable. I did have some issues with the episode, but other than that, I really enjoyed the episode. Apart from some dodgy CGI during daytime scenes, I was quite disappointed with how they handled August Hart, aka Godspeed. And that is just because of how minimalistic he was throughout this whole storyline. And this storyline definitely needed Godspeed, or the real Godspeed, for at least 1 or 2 more episodes where we had more of August Hart as Godspeed, not as August Hart with his memory loss. We only saw him in action for 1 episode, and that was only like half that episode. And although the actor nailed it and was absolutely amazing, he did not seem that threatening of a villain due to how little of a role he had for this storyline. Like with villains like Zoom and Reverse Flash, we have seen them do stuff. They were always one step ahead of Team Flash, but they were also very threatening. They caused chaos across Central City, in which from the Godspeed standpoint, the clones did that, not even Godspeed himself did that. But the villains like Zoom and Reverse Flash, they even obliterated Barry multiple times. Whereas for August Hart, yes, he was amazing, but with 1 episode, he didn't really have that much time to shine and actually do something. He definitely needed more than 1 episode as Godspeed in order to feel as a threatening villain, just like the others. But still, I really enjoyed the actor's performance. I thought he was great as Godspeed. So for this overall storyline, it was miles better than anything we had this season, but we definitely needed more. I was very underwhelmed by the lack of Godspeed, the original Godspeed. He was a villain teased since the beginning of season 6, and to only have 4 episodes with this Godspeed storyline, with the original Godspeed arriving on 1 episode out of that 4, yeah, it should have been longer. It should have been much longer. That original Godspeed should have been there for at least 1 episode, and then I would have been more convinced that he was quite threatening. He did do some pretty cool stuff during this episode, but as I keep saying, We definitely needed more. I was also kind of disappointed with the fact that we had no cliffhanger, which would have just left us excited for what's next. It would have just been great to have some sort of villain teaser or something along those lines. We definitely could have fit in like a 20-second cliffhanger during the end, but they didn't do it for some reason. We definitely needed a cliffhanger, but yeah, we didn't get that, so I was very disappointed with the fact that we didn't get a cliffhanger. But anyways, apart from that, I really enjoyed the episode. And spoiler alert for those who haven't seen the episode, you have been warned, since this is a review and breakdown after all, so I'll be going over some major spoilers which you certainly wouldn't want to hear from me. But for those who are staying, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so this episode kicks off with Bart Allen in the medbay, in which Bart is obviously in a coma due to the events of last episode, with what Godspeed has done to him by draining him up really badly. We do obviously have Nora West Allen standing beside her brother, with Hoechlin checking up on Bart. We do have the Godspeed war still continuing all across Central City, and we are at the scene where the two Godspeeds are fighting on top of Joe's vehicle, and yeah, the Godspeed war just keeps on intensifying. But just to wrap up this portion of the episode, I will just go out of order for this scene only. We did have Joe and Kramer helping around, and they're just trying to escort the citizens to safety. But this is disturbed as the Godspeed clone grabs Joe and is about to face his hand through Joe's chest. Now, we obviously knew that Joe was not going to die because weeks before this episode came out, it was confirmed that Jesse L. Martin renewed for season 8, so there was no way he was going to die. Whereas if they didn't reveal that, then we could have had that more mystery. Like, it could have seemed like he would have died during that point, where again, it wouldn't have happened either way. But oh my god, I did not see this coming, and again, during my watch party, you guys saw me freak out about this. We were expecting a meta reveal from Kramer already, but she seemed like a speedster at first, and I just lost my mind. I thought this could have been Mina Dawan at one point, because the other guy last episode said that Kristen Kramer was dead. But no, this is Kristen Kramer, but she just has the ability to replicate anyone's powers temporarily, which is a pretty sick superpower when you think about it. We then cut to the confrontation between August Hart and Barry in August Hart's mind, and August talks about his backstory on the show, where he was just a physicist who was obsessed with speed, and he created his own version of the velocity formula, which obviously allows him to have speedster abilities without really having the speed force within him and being a natural speedster, which was very interesting. I do wish that they explained the Godspeed clones and how they came into play a lot better, because they didn't touch upon that. But yeah, August wants infinite velocity. He wants to be an organic speedster, but because he was never able to achieve that with the velocity formula, he needs to become a natural speedster to run that fast. So he needs infinite velocity, he needs to become an organic speedster, and this is obviously a totally different storyline to the Godspeed in the comics, because in the comics, August Hart was obviously working alongside Barry Allen, and obviously they were very close friends, and he gets his speed due to Black Hole from the Speed Force Storm. So yeah, it is a totally different origin story, and we were not going to get the same origin story anyways, since we have established that Godspeed is from the future on the show. But we did also have August Hart talking about Bart Allen, how reckless he is, and this is why he believes that he, for example, is unworthy of having speedster abilities, and if August has the ability to have organic speed, this would mean that the Godspeed war would stop. But Barry says no, he doesn't want to give August Hart organic speed. So yeah, August knows that Barry will change his mind, but it will take a while for Barry to come through with that. But yeah, Barry escapes August's mind, and August still doesn't remember who he is, which I was confused about that as well. But we find out that when he was inside August's mind, August actually lost his memories as a result to time travel, which we anyways knew. But yeah, Barry explains to Team Flash about August Hart's deal, in which Nora thinks that they should give August Hart what he wants so that this Godspeed war ends. But Barry says no, because if August Hart actually gets organic speed, he will be even more dangerous than he has ever been, which is obviously a threat for his kids. And I really like this conversation between Nora and Barry. Both sides made sense. So I really liked how, they allowed the audience to choose a side as well, because both of them had really, really good arguments, and I really liked that. Now, Barry does actually have a plan to try and help stop the Godspeed War, and this is to use the actual Speed Force itself. And once again, I was interested to see how they would handle the Speed Force, since she would have been way too OP to have. But the Speed Force also gives all the speedsters a boost in speed, including Iris as well. And the reason Iris was able to become a speedster is due to the residue of the Speed Force she had during season 4. Due to the boost, she could run in super speed, so I thought that was pretty smart. But also, Bart Allen is reactivated as well, which is how he wakes up from his coma and gathers around with the Flash family. We did also get a really nice scene between Jay Garrick and Bart. It was a very touching scene for Bart because obviously in the future Jay Garrick is dead, so to see Jay Garrick in front of him was really great. Yeah, we obviously knew that Jay Garrick was a huge mentor to Bart's life. So yeah, I really liked the scene. I thought Jordan Fisher was amazing and he killed it during this episode. We then cut to the Flash family facing off against the Godspeed clones, and I absolutely loved this scene so much. They were obviously trying to drain the Godspeeds from using their speed, and everyone had a moment to shine. That's what I loved about this. We had that throwing star scene with Bart, the lightning lasso with Nora. Pretty dodgy CGI, but again, it's daytime and it's a TV show budget, so yeah, I do understand. We also had the Speed Force performing a Thanos snap and she just knocked all the clones out, which was so sick. Jay Garrick obviously uses the frisbee style with his helmet, and we obviously had Barry and Iris standing side by side, facing off against Godspeed clones. Barry just simply threw lightning while Iris had her spinning tornado hand. It seemed like Barry was, also trying to protect Iris, which does make sense because she is the most inexperienced speedster out of everyone else who's fighting. I did really enjoy how they handled Speedster Iris during this episode. I thought it genuinely worked this time, unlike the season 4 episode. Obviously, it was temporary as well, it was not permanent. One thing I did have an issue with, however, were the Godspeed clones. I understand that they are clones and they're robots, but to have them continuously go, kill the adversary, kill the adversary, kill the adversary, kill the adversary. Like, really? Like, I understand if you say 3 or 4 times, but not every single time. Now, the Godspeed clones are able to recharge themselves. Like, they get up and their eyes are glowing yellow, which was pretty cool to see. But we find out that Team Flash's plan in trying to drain the Godspeed speeds was pretty useless. And since they are drawing off the Speed Force Nora is getting weaker. So she leaves the area and goes back into her Force form, I guess. But Allegra arrives with the SEE and she charges it using her powers, and she's able to stop the Godspeeds. However, it ends up getting destroyed a while later, and later on we find out through Chester that it would take 4 weeks to build another SEE, which results to Bart, Nora and Jay using their speedster abilities to build another SEE to use. We did also have Bart and Nora pleading to Barry to give Godspeed what he wants, or else with this Godspeed war, there might not be a future at this point from where this war is heading. We did also have Bart saying, Central City does not need parents, it needs heroes, which I thought was a great line. As I said before, Jordan Fisher literally killed it with this episode. As I said during my watch party, Bart, Thon and Bart were my MVPs for this episode. But yeah, Frost and Cisco were able to face off Godspeed clones as well, and we have them using the trap on themselves so that the Godspeeds can't attack them. Once again, pretty dodgy CGI, but it is what it is. Their plan works and Godspeeds run away. Now, this is something I have issues with as well. Like, the Godspeeds run away, they just continue to run away. Like, literally, you are no different to Cicada at this point. And they have been running away since episode 16, so it's been getting repetitive and it's been getting annoying. So that is something I had an issue with as well. Now, in regards to the Godspeed clones being slow, I do understand that since they are not human beings, they're literally programmed drones. So yeah, I'm not going to be too negative on that. They're Godspeed clones, so I do understand if they're not acting pretty normally. Now, eventually Barry agrees to give August Hart organic speed, but this would result into August getting his memories back as well. It was a pretty cool scene, I really enjoyed it. Obviously Barry does have a plan B, as we see later on, and obviously we have Iris and the Speed Force trying to get that plan B to work by reaching out to that very individual. But we do slowly see that August Hart was getting his organic speed that he wanted, and he gets his memories back, which results him into becoming Godspeed again. So Godspeed is reborn, he suits up as Godspeed, and then he heads to the roof where he summons all his clones and he just absorbs them. He basically takes them all in and he just becomes very, very powerful. He's like next level powerful compared to Barry at this point. And this leads to the Flash confronting Godspeed as well, and we get this pretty cool but short chase scene between Godspeed and the Flash, but Godspeed just way too fast for Barry to handle. Even with the boosted Speed Force energy, Godspeed just miles faster than him. So yeah, we had Godspeed destroying him for a while. We had Godspeed tackling him, throwing lightning at him. Barry was pretty much getting bullied at this point. But if you guys were there in my watch party, you guys saw me freak out during this scene. Godspeed is about to finish off Barry until Red Lightning swipes past to take down Godspeed, and it is none other than Bart Thon, aka the Reverse Flash himself. He has returned, and the Man in Yellow music they used from season 1 episode 9 just made this scene, or made his return in general, just miles better. I really loved it. But yeah, Reverse Flash returns and ends up saving Barry. Now, with Thon's return, they didn't really explain how he's back. Like, how was he able to get Wells' body back? Because last we saw him, he turned into negative tachyons. So yeah, I wish they touched up on that. They do slightly touch up on it, where obviously the Speed Force and Iris reach out to the negative Speed Force to get Thon's help. And the deal was that if Barry saves Thon, in which he did, in return, Thon would help Barry take down Godspeed. That was their deal, but they didn't really explain how Thon turned from negative tachyons back into his Wells body, so I do wish that they explained that. But yeah, chills everywhere. I was just living life at this point. I would have never imagined these two teaming up together. Obviously, I saw it from the set photos, but to see it during the episode, it was just better. I really love this team up. We have the Flash and Reverse Flash taking on Godspeed, but not with a classic speedster battle, with Speed Force lightsabers. Now, I am a die-hard Star Wars fan, so I did not mind this fight at all. I absolutely loved it. It was very random and it was very controversial on social media, but it was very different. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, and visually, it was beautiful. I loved it. But it would have been miles better. Like, this scene would have been 10 times better if they used their speed whilst fighting with the Speed Force lightsabers as well. I think that would have been a lot better, but regardless, I still enjoyed what they gave us over here. The thing is, I love DC the most, but I prefer Star Wars over Marvel, so Star Wars is second on my list. So yeah, I love Star Wars, and my knowledge on Star Wars is actually way better than my knowledge on even DC. So yeah, my obsession for Star Wars probably made me enjoy this scene even more. But we had them using their speeds while fighting with the Speed Force sabers for like 5 seconds or something, and then we have Godspeed blasting Barry away, which leads to the Reverse Flash stabbing him, and I got chills from that scene. Obviously Barry was shocked because Barry thought that killing wasn't part of the deal, but Reverse Flash just said, "You just specifically said I help you take him down, so this is how I do it." It was so badass, or shall I say crash, I don't even know. But yeah, Thon carried this episode and I loved it so much. We did also have a short confrontation between Barry and Thon has been waiting for this moment for so long, and he obviously charges towards Barry, and yeah, that doesn't end up too well because Barry actually ends up freezing Thon due to his boosted Speed Force. So Barry is miles faster than Reverse Flash, to a point where Thon was literally still whilst Barry was moving in super speed. So Barry grabs Thon and he just tosses him aside, and I really loved that. And at this point, Thon was just so shocked because he thought that Barry stole his speed because of how slow he was compared to Barry, but in reality, Barry was just the one who got faster. So yeah, Thon was pretty salty about that, and Thon promises Barry that the next time they meet, he is going to be fast as well. So yeah, Barry better be ready. We do also find out that August Hart has been sent to Iron Heights with his memories about Barry being the Flash getting erased. So yeah, although August Hart still has his normal memories, he does not know that Barry Allen is the Flash anymore. We do also have Barry offering Iris to renew their vows again, and this then leads to the scene in Joe's house with Kramer revealing that she is a meta, and she talks about how exactly her powers work. But the episode ends with Barry and Iris renewing their vows. The scene was too long, the song with Bart singing just made the scene even worse in my opinion. Nothing against Jordan Fisher, he killed it with the song. He is an amazing singer, just like Grant Gustin and other people in the cast. But it was just so unnecessary to have it. I did not enjoy that scene at all. But one scene I did really like was after Bart finished singing, Barry just went like, "Bart, that was so crash," and Bart's like, no, it doesn't work when you do it. I really loved that. But yeah, no cliffhanger, which was quite disappointing, but it is what it is, I guess. The Reverse Flash ending could be seen as a cliffhanger, but I don't think it is. I think that's for its own thing. We know that the first 5 episodes of Season 8 are a crossover, and it seems like Bart, Nora, and Jay are still there for Season 8, but I'm just really salty that there isn't a cliffhanger. Now, overall, I thought this episode was the best episode of the season. Although I gave episode 2 a 10 out of 10, this episode is unworthy of a 10 out of 10. Episode 18 is unworthy of a 10 out of 10. I still think episode 2 is a 10 out of 10. But enjoyment-wise, this episode was way better than episode 2. So I think this is the best episode of the season. The Godspeed storyline should have definitely been longer. But other than that, it was a massive redemption for the show, because that Forces storyline and that interlude were almost unwatchable. But overall for this episode, I will give a 9.7 out of 10. Now, in regards to the whole season, I'm going to have to rewatch season 5 again just so I could get my opinion right, or just my ranking right in general. But as of now, I am saying that The Flash season 7 is the worst season of The Flash by far. And I hope Eric Wallace learned from his mistakes with the interlude, because that was probably the most problematic part. That should have been the whole Godspeed storyline after the Cisco episode. We did not need the Cecile episode. We did not need the Allegra episode. We should have just had that dedicated to the Godspeed storyline right after Cisco's episode. So I hope Eric Wallace learned from his mistakes, and I hope we do not get that interlude again, because yeah, it was a huge miss. He nailed it with season 6, so we do know that Eric Wallace is a great showrunner. He was amazing with season 6, he was amazing with the Godspeed storyline, but definitely not for season 7 as a whole. Yes, I did say that I love the Godspeed storyline, but 4 episodes out of 18 is not even close to raising the bar. It could make it seem better because the season ended really strong in my opinion, whereas for like The Flash season 3 for example, that started really strong but ended very poorly, and because of that I really disliked The Flash season 3 more than others. But this was just a total 180 to that. So for this, it was that the season started off really weak but ended off pretty strong. But still, as I said, 4 episodes out of 18 does not raise the bar that much. Although it still does raise the bar, it doesn't raise it to a point where, like, you know, it's better than season 5. So as of now, I think that season 5 is better than season 7. I think The Flash season 7 is the worst season of The Flash, despite it having some good moments. But that Forces storyline and then that interlude were terrible and almost unwatchable, depending on the episode, because I really liked Cisco's episode, and episode 4 and 5 I really enjoyed as well. So because of that, I think season 7 is the worst season of The Flash, but the Godspeed storyline is the best part of the season by far. Although the Godspeed storyline should have been longer, we did not need the Cecile episode, we did not need the Allegra episode. Episode 13 and 14 should have been part of the Godspeed storyline as well. So although it should have been longer, I'm gonna give the Godspeed storyline a 7 out of 10. Maybe if it was a bit longer, it could have had the potential to become a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. But yeah, it is what it is. The Forces storyline is a 3 out of 10 and the interlude is a 2 out of 10 for me. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below if you guys enjoyed this episode or the overall season in general. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.